Hey guys, it's Mrs. Leggett here. Um, I'm going to do an experiment today, continuing talking about different different spheres on Earth that interact with each other and are affected or impacted when different things, whether it's humans or other things, impact one because they're all interconnected. So I had to redo this one, so if you already watched it on my YouTube channel, you don't need to watch it again. We're going to talk about pesticides, and you probably know what a pesticide is. The key is in the word pest, which can be bugs, rodents, anything like that, and side means, well, anything that kills that. So sometimes we use those on our own plants, in our own yards, or if we have a vegetable garden, we sometimes spray the plants because otherwise bugs will eat them. But on a larger scale, farmers and lots of different people that grow crops, they use pesticides on a large scale to try and same thing, keep bugs and animals out of their plants so then they can sell their crops. And there's different ways people use pesticides. Sometimes it's a spray. That's usually what people use in their own yards. Sometimes farmers, if they have a huge area, they have like sort of like a pesticide. It looks like a dust thing that they'll kind of cover, like sometimes with a plane even, they drop it. So there's different kinds, but the experiment that I'm going to do is just kind of to show you what happens sometimes when the pesticide gets on the plants, and then what happens after, let's say, a huge rainstorm. So I have a fake plant here. This isn't real. Okay, and obviously there's some rocks in here. The rock represents like the soil in the earth, but also, you know, there's rocks in our soil. So anything underground, where the roots are, where the plant is growing. So here's my plant. Now first off, this represents my pesticides, so it's just I put food coloring in water. So let's say I want bugs to stay off these vegetables, so I spray it. Okay, usually we spray the leaves and the fruit. Okay, let me make sure I've covered it really good. Okay. Now I didn't spray it so much into the soil as I did just onto the plant, just covered it enough so that, you know, bugs will stay off of it. So now let's say that there's a huge rainstorm, and this is just regular water. So huge rainstorm, okay, I'm gonna get it really wet. And we like rainstorms, at least farmers do, because obviously that provides water for their plants, and you know plants need water in order to grow. So now that we've done that, we had a good rainstorm, what I'm going to do is I have 2 cups here. The top one has some holes in it, and I'm going to pull it out and see if any of the water came through and ended up in the bottom of the cup. So if I pull this out, and that's the water that went through the soil, and I see what I have left in this cup. This represents all the underground water, and there's a word for that. It's aquifer, and that means that if you dig down, and it's different in different places depending on where you are, but you know how people dig, and you have to dig pretty deeply to get to a well or to access some water. That water that's found in the ground is called aquifers. And obviously most ground has aquifers, has groundwater. So every time it rains, that makes more groundwater under the soil. But notice how there's green in that aquifers now, in that groundwater. How did that get there? Well, obviously we didn't put pesticide directly into the ground. We sprayed it on the plant. But then when the water came and washed it all down into the soil, that means that some of those pesticides got into the soil and then gets to the roots of the plants or goes into well water. So think about how that might be not the best. That might not be a great thing. For example, a lot of drinking water comes from the ground in a lot of different places. how do you think that affects the plants that then take in pesticide water into their roots? And is there anything else that might be affected? Think about the biosphere. Are there animals or other bugs or things that live underground or that burrow underground, and how might they be affected by pesticides? So for this experiment, you don't need to put anything in your science notebook, but I just want you to think about how pesticides getting into the ground might not always be a good thing, even though then we have crops that don't have bugs. So do you think that maybe there's a way that people and farmers can still keep pests off of their crops without having to use harsh pesticides? What do we think? Are there other, and you know, that's not a problem we have to solve today, but then I want you to just think about the different spheres that are involved. So this week, just to tell you what else we have for science, this is just the video for Monday. For Tuesday, what I would like you to do is go into Mosamac. On the left-hand side where it says Solve, Make, Engineer. In the Make, if you go in there, and it has all the tabs for the different parts of the Make at the top, there's one that's called the Landfill Times. And you're going to read that. It's just like a little newsletter, looks like a newspaper thing. And there are exit ticket questions. There's 8 little questions for the end of this unit. So think about the different little activities we did and talked about biospheres. We did the cookie coal mining, we did pesticides, we did coral reefs and how they are important for the earth. Think about all of those, and you'll answer the little questions in the Make under exit ticket. And if you can't find it, then please let me know. You can type into, you know, the Google Classroom and ask if you cannot find it, and I'll see if I can help you out. But that's what we will be doing Tuesday. And then Wednesday, watch for a video to show you what we're going to be doing Wednesday. Okay? All right, have a good day. Bye, guys.